Jim Carrey just sparked a wild debate online because this interview of him looks and sounds nothing like the world-famous actor people remember. The clip exploded across social media, and suddenly everyone had the same question: what are we actually looking at here? Some viewers started claiming Jim had been cloned, while others insisted it had to be a body double stepping in for him. And that idea didn't come out of nowhere either, because Jim himself has admitted in the past that body doubles sometimes appear in projects or public moments.
I've done this a few times now, and it's using a decoy.
I'm sorry, a decoy?
Using a decoy. It sounds so ridiculous, but it works like a charm.
Like a double.
It's fantastic.
But things got even more chaotic when the conspiracy crowd found something new to point at. An artist known for creating ultra-realistic celebrity masks posted images of a mask that looked shockingly similar to Jim's face. The internet instantly ran with it, with people saying that the actor on the red carpet might actually be someone wearing one of those masks. Suddenly, the theory wasn't just about a lookalike. People started claiming the real Jim might be somewhere else entirely. And believe it or not, this kind of rumor isn't new in celebrity culture. Over the years, plenty of famous stars have faced bizarre online theories saying they were replaced, cloned, or secretly gone while someone else took their place.
Merci beaucoup, c'est très gentil. En tant qu'acteur, chaque personnage que vous incarnez, c'est comme l'argile du sculpteur.
It sounds extreme, but when clips start circulating without context, the speculation spreads fast. At the same time, there has also been a lot of misinformation floating around, and some important details are getting ignored. Before jumping to conclusions about what really happened with Jim Carrey, there are a few key facts people should know. Still, the situation leaves many viewers scratching their heads, because in 2026, it sometimes feels impossible to tell what's authentic and what's staged. Jim Carrey recently attended the César Awards in France, where he was honored for his incredible versatility as an actor. When he stepped on stage, the crowd was impressed right away because he delivered his entire 5-minute acceptance speech in French.
I practiced it like crazy, but then I watched everybody talking 1,000 miles an hour up there, receiving their awards, and I was like, I'm dead. And I made mistakes, and I was like a novice. I felt a lot of love, and I felt a lot of appreciation that I tried.
Now, Jim isn't actually fluent in the language, but he practiced it carefully as a sign of respect for the country, the culture, and his fans. The audience in the room loved the effort and applauded the gesture, but viewers watching from home were focused on something very different. They couldn't stop talking about how unusual Jim looked. When people compared the footage to photos from just a couple years ago, the differences seemed dramatic. His eyes appeared brighter and almost glassy. The wrinkles around his eyes looked different. His eyebrows seemed faded and raised higher than before, and his jawline looked slightly uneven. Some viewers pointed out that his cheeks looked unusually puffy, and his skin had a strange smoothness that almost made it look plastic, like the natural expressions were missing. Then came the moment that really set people off. As soon as Jim switched to English during the post-event interviews, many viewers felt like his entire personality had changed.
Tonight, to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it, and it is the all-mocking tongue.
The energy, the voice, the expressions, some fans said, it almost felt like they were watching a completely different person. To be fair, some higher resolution photos from that night do make Jim look a little more like himself.
The gate of forgiveness, which leads to grace. Your being here is an indication that you've made that decision already. You've made the decision to walk through the gate of forgiveness to grace, just as Christ did on the cross.
The lighting and camera angles in certain clips definitely exaggerated things online. But even with the clearer images, many viewers still say there's this strange, uncanny vibe they can't ignore. Something about his appearance just feels different from the Jim Carrey people remember from years ago. A lot of the concern also comes from how he was acting, especially when fans remember the version of Jim they saw back in 2017. During that time, he openly mocked the whole awards culture and called out the idea of celebrating what he saw as a shallow industry. He even criticized the idea of accepting a flashy award from what he described as a questionable voting system, all while standing on a carpet surrounded by celebrities trying to look bigger than they really are. But there's an important piece of context many people forget. When Jim gave that famous interview criticizing Hollywood, he was going through an incredibly painful time in his personal life. His girlfriend, Catriona White, had passed away 2 years earlier, and Jim later spoke about how empty and repetitive the Hollywood world started to feel to him during that period.
I mean, it's just funny to me. At one end, everyone's like, oh my God, you look the exact same. You haven't aged a day. But then other people are like, there's a conspiracy theory that I'm not me. Honestly, it's not that bad. It could be worse.
At the same time, Jim has always had a long reputation for speaking his mind about powerful circles in the entertainment industry. For example, when he appeared on Kimmel back in 2014, he jokingly mocked secret society-style conspiracies and elite power structures, which only added to the wild reputation he carries today. Some people actually saw Jim's mockery of Hollywood as a bold move. To them, he looked like someone who was brave enough to call out powerful circles in the entertainment industry. A few fans even claimed he might have been revealing uncomfortable truths, and that speaking so openly could put him at risk. Because of that belief, certain conspiracy groups started arguing that something may have happened to him to stop those kinds of statements from continuing. Their reasoning comes from the fact that Jim has said things you almost never hear from A-list actors. Most big stars carefully avoid criticizing the system that made them famous. So when someone like Jim steps out and jokes about the industry's power structure, some people immediately assume there must be a bigger story behind it. On the other side, some viewers interpreted his recent appearance very differently. Instead of seeing rebellion, they thought he looked like someone who had finally conformed or accepted the rules of modern Hollywood. That interpretation pushed a whole new wave of strange internet theories back into the spotlight. Suddenly, the old rumors about celebrity clones started circulating again. These theories claim that famous people with money and influence are secretly replaced by someone else, though the explanations for why that would happen are usually vague and unsupported. And to be clear, most of these theories fall apart once you actually look at the details. For years, certain corners of the internet have tried to convince people that Eminem was secretly replaced by a clone. They'll post side-by-side photos of Slim Shady and point out tiny differences in his hairstyle or facial features. What they usually ignore is the timeline. Many of those comparisons use photos from when he was in his 20s and compare them to photos taken when he was in his 40s after dealing with serious addiction struggles. Anyone knows that age, lifestyle changes, and recovery can dramatically affect how someone looks. Another famous example involves punk pop star Avril Lavigne. There's a long-running internet rumor claiming she passed away in the early 2000s and was replaced by a lookalike named Melissa Vandella. Avril has heard that story countless times, and to this day she laughs it off whenever someone seriously asks her about being replaced. There's even a long-running rumor about rapper Gucci Mane being cloned after he got out of prison in 2016. Before that time, Gucci was known for living a rough lifestyle, dealing with addiction and carrying extra weight. But after his release, people noticed something dramatic. He came back looking completely different, lean, muscular, healthier, and speaking much more positively about life. Some conspiracy fans pointed at that transformation and claimed it was proof he had been replaced to boost his image and sell more records. According to those theories, the old Gucci disappeared and a brand new version suddenly showed up. But for most people, the explanation is much simpler. Years of unhealthy habits can take a huge toll on someone's body and appearance. When someone replaces that lifestyle with daily workouts, better food, and a completely new routine, the physical change can be massive. Add in a fresh beard, new confidence, and time away from the spotlight, and it's no surprise someone might look totally different from their past photos. Still, despite these obvious explanations, there are plenty of internet communities that fully believe these artists were actually cloned.
Yeah, this is Kel right here, trying to be healthy. Everybody is sad and confused, but I'm healthy and happy.
Some of those theories claim celebrities have their DNA secretly taken and used in hidden labs, where a replacement is grown and aged quickly, all to keep profits rolling in. A more grounded and honestly more entertaining theory people talk about involves body doubles. The idea is that some huge celebrities might find a lookalike, a distant twin, or someone with similar features and dress them up with makeup, styling, or even realistic masks to pass as them in public. Think about it for a second. If a superstar is exhausted from constant travel, endless interviews, and public appearances, sending someone else to handle a few events while they stay home and relax almost sounds believable.
A decoy, it sounds so ridiculous, but it works like a charm.
Like a double.
Jim Carrey double.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
So what I do is I send him off in one direction, sucks all the press in that direction, and I can just have my day. And
whatever
just
you want to
go
do.
wherever I want, totally unmolested. It's fantastic.
And here's the twist. Jim Carrey himself has actually admitted in the past that body doubles do exist in the entertainment world. That little detail is exactly why these conversations keep popping up online. Things start to feel a lot more unsettling when these theories move away from Hollywood celebrities and start involving powerful political figures. Suddenly, the conversation isn't about entertainment anymore. It's about people who control major decisions and hold serious influence. For example, when President Joe Biden's health and mental sharpness became a topic of public debate, some corners of the internet started pushing a new theory. They claimed that on certain occasions, he might be replaced by actors or stand-ins to hide concerns about his condition. Supporters of that idea pointed to tiny details in photos and videos, like marks near his ears that they believed looked like mask straps, or moments where lighting made his skin appear unusual on camera. Similar speculation has appeared around other high-profile figures too. During discussions about Ghislaine Maxwell's questioning and legal situation, some people online began comparing photos of her face, pointing at things like nose shape, eye alignment, or facial width. They claimed these differences meant she had secretly received a deal and been replaced by a double. But again, these claims mostly came from internet speculation rather than verified facts. Jeffrey Epstein's case also sparked a flood of rumors.
North Carolina. And he was a very conservative guy who was very, very...
Oh my gosh, that's a mess.
At one point, a photo circulated online showing a bearded man walking through a street in Israel, and some users insisted it was Epstein living freely after escaping prison with help from powerful agencies. Later investigations showed that the image itself had been digitally manipulated using AI tools, which shut down most of that speculation. Now, when it comes back to Jim Carrey and the Caesar Awards appearance, things only became even more confusing. Right when the debate about his face was spreading online, someone posted something that made people do a double take. On March 2nd, 2026, a well-known mask and makeup artist named Alexis Stone uploaded a post to Instagram featuring what looked like Jim Carrey's face. The caption read, "Alexis Stone as Jim Carrey in Paris." Alongside the first photo, Alexis shared another image showing Carrey's recent look, plus what appeared to be a concept image of a Jim Carrey mask created with makeup and digital tools.
And no one really knew what was real and not real half the time. I didn't know what was real and not real. You just went with Andy and Tony and wherever their whim took you.
I mean, if I want to choose to do something, you should support me. I mean, I don't understand why you're always negative. And
once people looked into who Alexis Stone actually is, the situation suddenly became a lot more interesting. Alexis is famous for wild transformation stunts where he uses professional makeup and prosthetics to turn himself into completely different characters. Sometimes he appears as Cruella de Vil, sometimes as Mrs. Doubtfire, even the Mona Lisa, or Jack Nicholson. The transformations are so convincing that photographers and reporters often swarm him, thinking they're seeing something unusual or shocking. Even when people know it's just a costume, the illusion still grabs headlines everywhere. Alexis runs a special effects makeup studio based in Scotland, and his work focuses on building detailed masks, prosthetics, and full transformation effects. It's the type of work that could easily overlap with film, television, and entertainment projects that require realistic disguises. Of course, not every mask he makes is meant to be perfectly realistic. Some of them are intentionally exaggerated or strange because that kind of shocking look spreads faster online and helps promote his brand. But other creations are incredibly convincing. Some of his masks are so detailed that if you passed him in public without looking closely, you might never realize you were seeing a disguise. And even if Alexis was simply trying to ride the wave of attention and take credit for something he wasn't involved in, which would honestly be clever, marketing the idea of him teaming up with Jim Carrey for a giant, public prank doesn't sound impossible at all.
Whatever you are, it's like everything are these abstract structures that you're given. And it's supposed to hold you together somehow, And I've just given them up. I don't need to be held together. I'm fine just floating through space like Andy, just flying 6,000 miles an hour around the sun, balancing on tectonic plates that are floating on lava, ready for the end times to occur and whatever the hell is going to happen. I'm just great. That's all great.
After all, Jim Carrey has a long history of performance art and unpredictable stunts. When he played his idol Andy Kaufman, he famously stayed in character almost the entire time during filming. He would interact with Kaufman's friends and family as if he truly was Andy, refusing to break character even off camera. The experience was so surreal that many people around him admitted they sometimes had no idea what was real and what wasn't.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
As one person described it, I didn't know what was real and not real. You just went with Andy and Tony and wherever their whim took you. And honestly, that kind of reality-bending chaos sounds exactly like something Jim Carrey would enjoy creating. Andy Kaufman built his entire career on one wild idea, pushing comedy so far that nobody could tell where the joke ended and real life began. His performances constantly blurred the line between humor, performance art, and reality. People watching him were often left confused, wondering if they were witnessing a breakdown, or pure genius. When Jim Carrey took on the role of Kaufman in the biopic Man on the Moon, he didn't just act the part, he completely immersed himself in it. Jim later explained that the experience felt so intense that he believed Andy's spirit or energy had somehow taken over his behavior during filming. He described it by saying, "I didn't black out, but the balance was way in Andy's corner. I broke a couple of times on weekends and stuff, but pretty much from when I woke up to when I went to bed, the choices were all his." For many fans watching from the outside, it seemed like Jim Carrey had reached a kind of personal awakening during that time. While many actors carefully follow industry rules to protect their careers and secure the next big paycheck, Jim started openly criticizing the entertainment system itself.
Nicholson doing the joke.
At one point, he even expressed frustration with Hollywood culture, saying, I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore." Because of comments like that, people began seeing Jim as someone who wasn't afraid to challenge the industry's power structure. So when the recent rumors about him started spreading online, they exploded incredibly fast. The speculation became so widespread that organizers from the Caesar Awards actually responded to calm things down. The event's general delegate, Gregory Collier, addressed the situation and pushed back against the rumors. He said, "For me, it's a non-issue. I just remember his generosity, his kindness, his benevolence, his elegance. Jim Carrey's visit has been planned since this summer." From the outset, he was extremely touched by the Academy's invitation, 8 months of ongoing constructive discussions. He worked on his speech in French for months, asking me about the exact pronunciation of certain words. Jim's longtime publicist, Malia Leslie, also confirmed to TMZ that Jim Carrey personally attended the Caesar Awards and accepted his honorary award that night.
Talk to you because you're amazing and I'm so excited for you.
Oh,
it's incredible that you've gotten as far as you have with your obvious physical disadvantages. That's just pure talent there. Just a talent override there.
Still, some people online say these responses feel a little vague and don't fully shut down the theories. Critics compare it to how Avril Lavigne once responded to clone rumors by basically saying, "I'm actually me. I don't know what you want me to say." And that raises an awkward question. How exactly is Jim Carrey supposed to prove something like this anyway? Is he supposed to post a video pulling on his face and saying, "Look, it's not a mask"? If he did that, people would probably become even more suspicious. However, even among people who reject the cloning theories or mask ideas, man, your viewers still believe there may be a simpler explanation. Some think Jim may have had some kind of cosmetic procedure or facial work done recently. For many longtime fans, that possibility might actually be the most disappointing one. Not because cosmetic procedures are unusual in Hollywood, they are extremely common, but because Jim Carrey always felt like the last person who would feel pressured to change his face just to keep up with the industry's obsession with youth. After all, the thing that made Jim Carrey so iconic from the beginning was his incredible facial expressions. Long before he became famous, he was already mastering the ability to twist, stretch, and transform his face into completely different characters.
Hi, this is Dr. Steinberg for Alpha Male Plastic Surgery. Now, here's the latest of Jim Carrey. So definitely very masculine appearing here. Sometimes when people get a little bit overfilled, they can be more feminized. This face is higher, and we can tell that because there's a descent of the tip, there's the descent of a chin. One little hint that I can see is his transverse rhytids, the wrinkles, are a little bit higher and elevated here, which is a sign of an endoscopic brow lift. He's definitely had some filler here. May have had some implantations here. Could have been a jaw implant, a wraparound implant, or it could just be a lift with injectables, either a filler, which is off the shelf like a hyaluronic acid, or it could be some fat.
That natural elasticity and personality became a huge part of what made him so memorable on screen. When it came to Hollywood's obsession with appearance, Jim Carrey often seemed to mock the whole thing. Instead of playing along with the industry's obsession with beauty and perfection, he would flip it into comedy. One memorable moment happened when he appeared on the Graham Norton show and jokingly teased Margot Robbie. During the conversation, he told her, "I wanted to talk to you because you're amazing, and I'm so excited for you." Then he followed it up with a classic Carrey punchline, "Oh, thanks." It's incredible that you've gotten as far as you have with your obvious physical disadvantages. That's just pure talent there. That's some talent override there. The audience laughed because the joke was clearly playful, but moments like that showed Jim often poked fun at Hollywood's shallow standards instead of praising them. That's exactly why fans were so surprised by his recent appearance.
White House unveils plan to train bald eagles as patriotic aerial surveillance units. Can you tell the difference?
Well, President Trump meets today with another global leader as his administration promises more trade deals.
The one on the left is AI generated, while the right is real.
For decades, Jim built his image around exaggerated expressions, wild facial movements, and characters that stretched his face in every direction imaginable. His rubber-like expressions became one of the most recognizable trademarks in comedy history. So when viewers suddenly saw a version of Jim that appeared smoother, puffier, or less expressive, it made people pause. Some plastic surgeons on YouTube even started analyzing the footage and claiming that he might have had cosmetic work done. Of course, none of that has been officially confirmed, but the speculation alone made some fans feel uneasy. The thinking goes like this: Jim never relied on traditional Hollywood beauty standards to land roles. His talent came from personality, creativity, and his ability to transform into characters.
We made a second one that turned me into a younger, prettier woman. I loved this mask. So we went to the White House. We went in the Oval Office. So I showed him some photographs of disguises we had done for him when he was chief of disguise. I said, you might remember these. He did. I said, so I'm here to show you the next level. He said, so show me. I said, well, I'm wearing it. And I'll take it off and show it to you. And he said, no, don't take it off. And he got up. He came out, walked, and he looked. He went behind me. He's checking it out. He went back. He sat down and he said, take it off. So I just peeled off my face. Bush really liked it. Bush was smiling. 10 years later, I got a copy of a photograph that they had airbrushed the mask out. And this is the only photograph I ever got. So I'm sitting in front of the president's desk with my hand in the air, holding the mask, showing it to him, and they airbrushed it out.
They airbrushed the mask out?
Yeah, it was classified.
Because of that, the idea of permanently altering his face with fillers or surgery feels, to some fans, like it goes against the artistic identity people associated with him. Then again, it's also important to remember how strong the pressure can be inside Hollywood. When nearly everyone around you is trying to stay young forever, it becomes easy for anyone, even someone known for rejecting those standards, to feel a little insecure about aging. So whether Jim Carrey was experimenting with performance art, playing some kind of social prank, or simply making a personal decision about his appearance, one thing became clear from the reaction N-line. A huge number of people were instantly convinced that the person they were seeing was not the real Jim Carrey. And honestly, that reaction says something bigger about the world we live in today. It shows just how fragile our trust in images and videos has become. Artificial intelligence and deepfake technology have existed for years, but it used to be easier to spot them. People could laugh at obvious fake videos or weird edits and move on. But in the last few years, the technology has improved so much that the difference between real and fake is getting harder to notice. One non-profit organization even surveyed 1,000 teenagers between the ages of 13 and 18 about their experiences with AI-generated media. The results were eye-opening. About 35% said they had already been fooled by fake content online. Meanwhile, 41% said they had seen real content presented in misleading ways, and 22% admitted they had shared information that later turned out to be false. That shows how confusing the digital world is becoming for everyone. Because the truth is, it's not just celebrity drama or internet memes being generated with AI anymore. As the technology keeps improving, people may soon find themselves questioning something even more serious. They might not even be able to fully trust what they see on the local news anymore. At this point, the idea of powerful or famous people using masks or stand-ins doesn't sound as unbelievable as it once did. Technology, makeup, and special effects have advanced so far that realistic disguises are easier to create than ever before. In fact, Jim Carrey once shared a strange behind-the-scenes story from filming How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The makeup process for that character was so intense and uncomfortable that he nearly walked away from the role completely. As Jim explained, I told Ron Howard I couldn't do the movie, and Brian Grazer came in and came up with a brilliant idea, which was to hire a gentleman. That gentleman he mentioned was reportedly someone who helped train him to handle the stress of sitting through the long, difficult makeup sessions required for the Grinch costume. So whether Jim Carrey is pulling off some elaborate prank, experimenting with performance art, simply changing his appearance, or just becoming the latest subject of wild internet rumors, one thing is becoming obvious. We're entering a strange moment in history where people can look at someone they've known for decades on a screen and still wonder if the person in front of them is actually real.